right, Mr. Secretary, I want to just ask you a question ultimately about the health of the overall economy. Given the importance of trustworthy economic data internally for the American people and also externally for our position globally, are you at all concerned about the threats to Jerome Powell's job, the firing of the head of the BLS, that our country will lose its global position, its economic strength, based on the lack of believable, objective facts?
Give me a hell yeah!
Well, there's a lot to unpack there. So let's start with Chair Powell. President Trump has said that he's not going to fire Chair Powell. President Trump has a great reverence for the institution of the Federal Reserve. And, as I said, he likes to work the referees. And that's his right, just as Senator Warren does the same thing. In terms of the BLS, I think that this was long overdue. I mean, the mistake that they made last week was a 5 to 6 standard deviation mistake. This is like if you got on a plane in Miami, thought you were going to New York, and landed in Denver. I mean, so I actually think that cleaning up the BLS was something that should have been done long ago. And I agree that the efficacy and the believability of our economic projections are very important. But, Mika, the other thing I can tell you is that, there's something wrong here, because on Wednesday, the Federal Reserve voted not to cut rates. On Friday, the BLS had this massive downward revision. One of these is mistaken. So either the Fed economists did not see what the BLS did, the BLS data was corrupted, and, I can tell you that, the BLS in government, we have settled for so much mediocrity across the government. BLS in many of their cells, the things that they fill in, they used to have 100% the surveys. Some of them, they're just down to 30% of actual data, and then they're intuiting or imputing the other data. So, this is a long-needed change, and the head of BLS is responsible for this.
But Mr. Secretary, first of all, there have been cuts to the department. Secondly, as the Wall Street Journal editorial page said last week, the fact that they're having to do exactly what you're saying, projecting out, it doesn't have anything to do with ideology, doesn't have anything to do with who appointed them, has to do with employers who are not participating as much in these surveys as they used to participate in the surveys. So I guess the question is, what evidence is there out there? And people have been asking, what evidence did the president have that the plane actually ended up in Denver instead of ending up in New York? Because as you and I both know, there are always these revisions. And the next month, and this has been going on for decades, where you and I, Mika, everybody will watch and they'll go, they revised May's numbers. So they were 80% off. That's been going on forever.
Yes. Yes. Again. Yeah.
And yet, part of that, as the Wall Street Journal editorial page says, is it's just employers aren't participating the way they should. So it takes a month to revise those numbers. Is the Wall Street Journal right?
Well, no, because, again, this was the biggest revision, I believe, in 30 years. And this, again, it's a 5 standard deviation miss. You didn't land in Newark instead of New York. You landed in Denver. And that, if the employers aren't providing this, then the BLS, it was incumbent on the BLS to find a new way of collecting data. It just strikes me as very lazy work, trying to do things the same old way and expect a different result.
Oh, yeah.